you hatch from an egg. The first few minutes of your life spent in a blurry daze. The world around you is a dark, vast landscape full of towering green leaves and creeping shadows. You're a tiny, naked creature, barely the size of a thumb, and the ground beneath you feels rough and unforgiving. Your limbs are soft and weak, your senses raw, but you're already aware of one thing. Survival depends on your ability to stay hidden. Your mother's work is done. She left you behind the moment you emerged, a fleeting visit just to lay the eggs that brought you into existence. It's not abandonment, it's survival. You're one of many in a world where only the fittest make it past the first few days. You already know this. Around you, the world is a dangerous place. Above, birds glide silently, their eyes scanning the ground for any sign of movement. Below, ants scurry frantically, oblivious to your existence for now. As a newborn, you're vulnerable, fragile. But the one thing that could save you is your uncanny resemblance to the surroundings. You're an expert at blending in, even if you don't know it yet. Your first few days are spent in a frenzy of exploration. But every step you take feels like a calculated risk. Your only defense is immobility. Your body freezes at the slightest sound. The faint rustle of leaves above could mean the descent of a bird. The slightest vibration of the ground might signal a predator approaching. You don't move unless you absolutely have to. The world around you is a blur, and you struggle to orient yourself. You can't see much. Your vision is limited to vague shapes and light-dark contrasts. But your sense of touch and vibration are far more refined. As your antennae brush against the rough surface of leaves, you instinctively feel the world more than you see it. Every movement, every gust of wind, every tiny shift in your surroundings sends signals through your body, telling you when it's safe and when to stay perfectly still. As you grow, you begin to notice other creatures. The beetles, the ants, and the occasional millipede all working in their own silent rhythms. They're so much faster than you. So much stronger. But you're learning to appreciate the value of patience and stillness. Your survival depends on it. If you move too soon, if you draw too much attention, everything around you might become a threat. You learn to conserve energy, to wait, to stay hidden. Your first real challenge comes when a hungry bird passes overhead. You freeze, your body blending seamlessly with the stem of the grass you've attached to. The bird circles, its sharp eyes scanning, but it doesn't see you. The wind stirs and you remain perfectly still. The bird moves on, not noticing you at all. And just like that, you realize the power of your disguise. In the next few days, your tiny body becomes more adept at staying still. You're learning the art of invisibility, and it's your best weapon. You can't fight, you can't run, but you can blend in and survive. By the time you've shed your first exoskeleton, you've learned the basics. Stay still, stay hidden, and don't attract attention. It's a simple rule, but it's the key to your survival. As you grow, so do the threats around you. The world is getting bigger, more dangerous, but with each passing day, you're becoming more and more capable of navigating it. As the days stretch on, you grow stronger and more aware of the world around you. The once terrifying vastness of the plant life around you begins to feel more like home. Your exoskeleton hardens, and with it, so does your resolve to survive. The days of hiding in the shadows are over. Now, you must learn the art of moving without being noticed. You've grown several times your original size, and your camouflage has become more pronounced. Your body, once a mere greenish-brown shape, now mirrors the surrounding leaves and twigs more seamlessly. You're no longer just blending into your environment. You've become a part of it. The wind blows gently, and the soft rustling of leaves above you is the only sound you need to hear. When you freeze, you're as invisible as the branches that surround you. But your growing size brings new challenges. The predator threats are closer now. Every passing bird, every skittering lizard, every random vibration on the ground could be a signal of danger. You've learned to trust your instincts, but your survival still hinges on your ability to remain motionless. Every time a bird passes overhead, you hold your breath, your body tight against the branch or the bark of the tree, hoping the predator doesn't spot you. One afternoon, while resting on a low-hanging twig, the earth trembles. At first, you think it's just the wind, but then it gets closer. A low, grinding noise. A hawk is hunting. You see it before you hear it. It swoops down, its sharp talons aiming directly for your position. Your heart races, and in that split second, you know you must act. You freeze, holding your breath. Your body presses flat against the twig, blending with the brown, dry leaves that have gathered there. The hawk's sharp eyes sweep over your position, but they don't see you. The world slows as the predator inches closer, its shadow falling over you. You can hear the rustle of its wings, feel the force of the air as it dives, but you stay motionless. The hawk passes just a few inches above you, his talons brushing against the branches. You exhale, a relief flooding through you, but you know this will not be the last time. You become a master of patience, but you also realize the world is growing more dangerous. Your space is shrinking, and food is harder to find. As you grow, your hunger intensifies, and now you must begin to forage. Your once steady diet of leaves and tiny insects has evolved into something more complex. You've learned how to find new sources of food, like tiny flowers or the occasional dead leaf with hidden critters underneath. You are no longer just surviving on instinct. You are learning the ways of your world. As you explore the forest more, you encounter other creatures like you. Other bamboo stick insects, smaller ones, some of them even more adept at blending in than you are. They scurry through the undergrowth, but they have something you lack. Experience. They know the territories, the best hiding spots, the safest routes through the trees. Some of them even dare to interact with one another, creating alliances or engaging in brief competitions. They're fast and fluid, able to move between the branches with ease. You watch them, unsure if you should attempt the same. The forest feels bigger now, and you're more aware of the potential dangers lurking in every corner. You begin testing your own limits. Instead of clinging to one spot for safety, you start to explore the nearby branches, trying to test your movement. The first few attempts are awkward, your limbs too stiff, your movements too clumsy. But gradually you begin to feel more comfortable. You jump from one branch to another, trying to remain as still as possible once you've landed. Each movement is deliberate, and as you master it, the world becomes smaller again. Now, instead of being trapped by your hiding, you have the freedom to roam, to avoid the worst dangers while still pursuing the food and water you need. But there are still dangers. The predators continue to lurk, always there, always watching. The sound of a bird's call overhead, the slight vibration of the leaves as a lizard inches closer to you. These are the signs of danger you've learned to read. It's no longer just about hiding. Now, it's about making calculated moves, keeping a balance between stillness and motion. You become a hunter, albeit a very small one, but a hunter nonetheless. As you continue to grow, your once tiny body has become a formidable force of nature. The camouflage that once saved you from predators has now become second nature. You are no longer the defenseless little creature that huddled in the shadows, but a sleek, stealthy individual who knows the forest as well as its oldest residents. Your antennae twitch with every breeze, and the faintest sound of a predator's movement no longer startles you. Instead, you simply freeze, blending into the surroundings with precision that would make any predator think twice about approaching. But now, a new chapter in your life begins. The urge to mate. You've reached an age where the next step is no longer about survival alone. It's about ensuring your place in the ecosystem by passing on your genes. The forest has changed in subtle ways since you were a young hatchling. The trees have grown taller, the underbrush denser, and the air is filled with the hum of life. Other creatures, just like you, trying to find their own places in this web of survival. One day, while perched on a particularly tall tree branch, you catch sight of a female bamboo stick insect. She is much like you, but there's something different about her. Her posture, her movements are fluid, graceful. Her antennae flicker gently in the breeze, and in that moment, you know that she's the one you've been waiting for. The drive to mate is instinctual, pulling at you like an invisible force. You inch closer, testing the strength of your limbs with each small movement, being careful not to attract attention. You know the dangers of the forest too well now. Birds, lizards, and other predators still lurk, watching for any creature foolish enough to wander too far from safety. But this is a risk you're willing to take. You've learned the art of patience, but this moment requires something more. Action. As you draw nearer, your hearts race in tandem. She doesn't notice you at first, but then, sensing your presence, she turns slowly, her eyes locking onto yours. There's a flicker of recognition, a silent communication that passes between you both. Without a word, the ritual begins. You both move in sync, a slow, deliberate dance. Your limbs stretch out, and you mimic her movements, moving in a series of rhythmic steps. The dance is a delicate balance between attraction and survival. Every step must be timed perfectly, every gesture calculated. She moves closer, drawn to your presence. It's a mesmerizing sight, like two leaves caught in the wind, swirling together in the most intricate of patterns. Finally, the mating is complete. The moment feels fleeting, almost ephemeral, but it's a victory. The cycle of life continues, and your place in the forest is solidified. You've done your part, passing on your genes,
ensuring that another generation of bamboo stick insects will carry on the legacy of survival in this wild, unpredictable world. But even as you retreat into the safety of the trees, the knowledge that life is never without danger hangs over you. You know that the forest is still full of predators, still full of the unknown. The cycle of life is unbroken, but so is the cycle of danger. There's no rest in the forest, not for long. The next challenge is always just around the corner. Now, your focus shifts. You no longer need to prove yourself as a survivor. You've already done that. You've passed on your genes, and the next generation will learn the lessons you've learned, adapt to the ever-changing environment, and find their place in the great tapestry of life. But your story is far from over. As the seasons change, so does the forest, and so too does your role within it. You are no longer the young hatchling, fearful of predators. You are now a part of something larger, an integral piece of this forest ecosystem. In the end, you realize that survival is never just about avoiding death. It's about living, adapting, and passing on what you've learned to the next generation. And though the world is still full of dangers, you become something more than just a survivor. You become a force of nature, hidden in plain sight, ever watchful, ever patient, ever ready.